What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, going back to Sleep Token. Yes, indeed, Sleep Token fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-bobbity-bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Charles B, and this is actually one of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of June for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Charles. Hope you enjoy the show, man. Charles want to see me react to this. It is Sleep Token with a tune called The Summoning. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, this sounds familiar, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. As always, Charles has provided me with a little bit of an intro for y'all, so here we go, let's get to it. As you have just started the Take Me Back to Eden with its first song, Chokehold, we are going to keep rolling through its track order with its second, The Summoning. Now, this is not just any Sleep Token track. When it dropped on January 6, 2023, just a day after Chokehold, it has gone on to surpass the views and popularity of their previously most popular song, Alkaline. To put it in perspective, Alkaline currently has 24 million views on YouTube, whereas The Summoning has soared to 31 million views, which is seriously impressive for a metal song, especially since this video, just like for Chokehold, is just a visualizer and not a full-blown music video. The track also marked a milestone for the band, breaking into the official UK and US charts. Number 14 on the UK Rock and Metal Singles Chart, number 26 on the Billboard Hot Rock and Alternative Songs, and number 2 on the Billboard Hard Rock Digital Song Sales Chart. The big success of this song was on a fluke, as the whole album ended up doing really well. It made a big impact in 2023, landing on many Best of the Year lists. It won the Heavy Music Award for Best Album of the Year in August of 2024, as well as Billboard awarding it Best Hard Rock Album 4 months later. On the commercial side, it was a big hit too, earning gold certification in the UK, climbing to number 4 on Billboard's US Independent Rock Albums chart, and hitting number 2 on both Billboard's Alternative and Hard Rock Albums charts. It was also the metal album that was streamed the most in 2023 on Spotify. Interesting. Furthermore, for his work on Take Me Back to Eden, 2 was awarded at the 2023 Drum Awards 3 accolades: Drummer of the Year, Metal Drummer of the Year, and Drum Recording of the Year. It should also be pointed out that the album's big success and popularity due to Sleep Token's experimentation of using different music styles and their take on progressive and alternative music also helped expand metal to an audience that otherwise would not have given it a chance and help bring in new people to metal. I will not be giving away what The Summoning will sound like and where it will go other than this song, much like the Take Me Back to Eden album itself, and your own experience with Sleep Token of over a year is a journey. So without further delay, here is track number 2 from Take Me Back to Eden, The Summoning. There you go. Alright, this was posted by Sleep Token, no surprise there. And as Charles stated in the intro, the video has 31 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Sleep token, the summoning. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
I already hate it. I already hate it. I can't even find where the downbeat of 1 is. Forget about finding a groove. Forget about finding a time signature. I can't even find where the freaking downbeat of 1 is. What the hell? God dang it. I just can't get into this. I can't. I would love to. I love the sound of the instrumentation. The guitar tone sounds great. I love it. It sounds nice and thick, a little digital, but I know that's what they're going for. Vocally, I like what's happening with the vocals. It sounds nice, but for the love of God, where is the downbeat of 1? I have not been able to find it one time. This is asinine. Absolutely asinine. I hate it. I absolutely hate this. They better clean this up, and they better clean this up quick, because how can you, okay, this is a real question. How can anybody say, I love the groove on this? How can anybody say that? There is no groove. There's no groove. If you can't even find the downbeat of 1, how in the world are you going to find the time signature? And if you can't find the time signature, how are you going to groove to it? You can't. It's impossible. I'm sorry, but it's not possible. God dang, this.
Flesh and bone. The sky
No. And now there's no tempo. I can't wait for this to be over. I really can't. This is asinine. Here's the thing. And I've said this before with other songs that pull stuff like this. Listen. Talent. Yes, clearly talent. Okay. You cannot be some, drummer that can barely hold a 4/4 tempo or a 4/4 time signature pattern and play stuff like this. You just can't. Okay. I know 2 is a very talented drummer. I get it. I absolutely get it. At the same time, though, the whole purpose of this channel is to listen to a song for the very first time, and give my impression of it. I'm sure if I listen to this song 20, 30, 50 times and I memorize the song and I learn through repetition, I learn where everything is supposed to happen. I learn where everything is going to happen so I can be ready for it. I know for a fact that when we get to this point, we're going to do this. I know for a fact that let's say 8 measures. 8 measures later, it's going to do this. I know for a fact that when we get to the minute and 23 second spot, we switch to this time signature. I know that if I were to listen to this song 20, 30, 50 times, however many times it takes for me to learn this song and learn the groove of it, learn where all the changes happen, be able to anticipate these changes and be ready for them, I am positive I will probably end up loving this song because a song like this is up my alley. But as it stands right now, first time hearing the song, at best, it's frustrating. At best, it's frustrating. At worst, it's infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks, I'm really leaning more toward that side of the spectrum. I'm really not enjoying this as a first-time listen. Now, like I said, talent, absolutely. We all know, too, is a very capable drummer. We all know he's a very talented drummer, okay? We all know what he is capable of. And he's clearly showing off his talent here. Absolutely. But if you're going to ask me, how am I enjoying the groove on this song? My response is going to be very simple. I'm going to answer that question with another question. What groove are you talking about? What groove? Where? I'm sure there is a groove. I'm sure there is. But I haven't found it yet. Because I don't know where it changes. I don't know when it changes. I don't know that when it does change, how long does it stay there for? I have no clue. No idea. And to be honest with you, folks, I couldn't even venture a guess because it's changing quite rapidly. It's changing in some very strange and creative ways. And I have yet to find any pattern. I have not found any patterns yet. Just when I think, like I feel like I'm starting to lock into a 6/8 feel. Nope, it's not 6/8. It's it's like 11-8 or 10-8. And it's not quite. I don't even know if it's 10-8 or 11-8. It might be 9-8 plus 2-8 for all I know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not catching on to it. And as a result, I'm not enjoying this. I'm really, really not. There's a comparison but I'm gonna save it. There's a comparison I'm gonna use to another song that I had a very similar experience with. The first like 10 times I listened to the song, I absolutely hated it. I'll talk more at length about that comparison in the review. Let's get back into this. Let's finish this out and we'll get to the review. First time in the entire song I've been able to find the downbeat of one. I like this part. See, I can mess with those last 2 minutes all day long. I could absolutely mess with those 2 minutes, those last 2 minutes all day long and into the next day. That was nice. Definitely my favorite part of the whole song. Simply because, if for no other reason, I was able to find the downbeat of one. I could find the downbeat of one, and they established a repeatable pattern that I could find, I could recognize, and I could get into the groove. The last 2 minutes, loved it. It was also the most simplistic part of the entire song. The least impressive part of the entire song. But I'm gonna stay on this hill right now. And if I die on this hill, I die on this hill. The last 2 minutes, for me, were the most enjoyable 2 minutes of the entire song. Hands down. Okay. This is going to require some thought. Let me put my thoughts together. Let me think about everything here, and I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Sleep Token with The Summoning. This was a request from Charles B. And this was actually one of Charles B's 3 prioritized requests for the month of June for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, Charles. Hope you enjoyed the show. There's a lot to discuss. I'm trying to figure out ways I can keep this short. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks, I just don't see how. So get yourselves comfortable. We're going to be here for a while because there's a lot to talk about. Let me just start off. And I think I've made this very clear during the course of the reaction. As a whole, looking at the song as a whole, I didn't enjoy this. This was not a fun listen. Okay, as a whole, those first 4 minutes, 4 minutes and whatever it was, 14, 17 seconds, whatever it was, first 14 and a half minutes, whatever it was, I just, man, it was hard to listen to. It really was. It was, I don't know if I would go as far as to say it was painful to listen to, but it was definitely infuriating. It absolutely was. It was beyond frustrating. I couldn't even find the downbeat of one. Not with any consistency. I'm sure there are patterns. I'm sure there are. I couldn't find them. Not right now. I couldn't find them right now. While I was listening to it, I couldn't find the downbeat of one. And if you've ever tried to groove to a song where you cannot even forget about finding the time signature, you can't even find the downbeat of one, how are you going to groove to that? How? I don't see how. It's not possible. So I did not enjoy those first 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, whatever it was. I didn't enjoy it at all. It was frustrating. It was infuriating. And I was not having a good time with it. But here's the thing. And this is where the parallel is going to come into play. Now, you know what? Let me say, I'll get back to that in a second. So the first 4:15, 4.5, whatever it was, we hit that point where the tempo just basically completely fell out. There was no tempo to follow. There was no rhythmic pattern to follow. And then the song kicked back in with this straight ahead 4/4 pattern. Very slow tempo. But you were able to find the downbeat of one very easily. And on top of that, you were able to find the groove very easily at that slow halftime feel with the snare on 3, and then on the next measure snare on 3 and 4. That was really nice. It felt nice. I'm gonna be honest with you. If more than anything else, there was a sense of relief, a sense of, to some extent, release, because all that frustration, all that infuriation melted away, and we fell into this really nice groove for those last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes I absolutely enjoyed. Okay? But as a whole, the entire song, did I enjoy it? I'm going to say no. I did not enjoy it. I did not have a good time with it. But I'm also going to put an asterisk there. And you'll see why I put an asterisk there. Now, as I have said on this channel many, many times, I don't have to love a song to give it a good score. By the same token, I don't have to hate the song to give it a bad score. We've had it happen before where I thoroughly enjoyed a song and it was down in the, it wasn't in the negatives, but it was down in the 5s and 6s, despite the fact that I personally loved it. Would I look at the song objectively and say it was an impressively written song? Absolutely not. I use the Kiss reference all the time. Would I ever give a Kiss song a 9? Are you kidding? I would never give a Kiss song an 8. The highest I would ever see a Kiss song giving from me on the channel would be like a 7. Maybe a 7 point. Probably the most complex song I can think of from Kiss is Detroit Rock City, and I would give that maybe a 7.6 at most. And that's if I'm feeling generous that day. I just don't see it happening, So Kiss will never get an 8 or a 9 from me, ever, despite the fact I love them. On the flip side, though, There have been times on the channel where I've had a song where I wasn't necessarily feeling it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but at the same time, it's an impressive song. And as a result, it ends up in the 8s and 9s. I'm saying this as a pre-frame because here it comes, folks. Believe it or not, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.8. Yup, 8.8. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.8. What does that mean? Well, an 8.8 would translate to a great scale rating because overall, despite my own personal feelings, I think this song is a great song. I'm going to put an asterisk at the end of that. So, and I'll explain the asterisk in a second. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A letter grade. So there you go, an 8.8, great scale rating with an asterisk, 4 to 5 stars and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. The funny thing is, this is where my comparison is going to come into play. There was another song, when I first heard the song, a long time ago. There was another song I heard. The first time I heard it, I absolutely hated it. I could not stand it. It very much in the groove of this song. At least in the same vein as this song. I hated it so much that when the song would come on, I would literally skip it and go to the next song. For those of you that have been following my channel for any amount of time, you know the song I'm probably talking about. It was a Dream Theater song. It still is a Dream Theater song called The Dance of Eternity.
Oh, brother!
When we got to Home, which is, by the way, my favorite song on that album. We got to Home, and as soon as Home ends, and you hear that, choom, and it comes down, I immediately would hit the skip button on the CD player and move on to the next song, which I believe is One Last Time. So I would skip The Dance of Eternity completely. Why? Because you couldn't groove to it. Not listening to it the first time or even the second or third time. It was infuriating. I hated that song. Over time, I learned the song. I forced myself to listen to that song many, 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 many times. And over the course of like 50 listens, I finally got it. I was able to learn where all the changes were. I was able to learn where all the time signatures were. I was able to learn and anticipate and be prepared and brace myself for each and every time signature change. So that way, when I listened to the song, I was ready for it. I knew that after this measure of 6/8, we switched to 3/4. I knew that after this measure of 7/8, we went to 4/4. I knew that after this measure, we went to this measure. And as a result, I was ready for it. I was braced for it. And when we changed, the change for me, smooth as glass, because I had listened to the song, I had learned the song, and I was ready for it. I am sure, and this is where the asterisks come into play, I am sure, given time and repetitive listening to this song several times, many times, I'm not going to get it in 2 or 3 listen throughs. It's going to take, I'm willing to bet, at least 10 times listening through this song for me to internalize and be prepared and be able to anticipate where every single change happens, where the groove is actually established, where the actual downbeat of 1 is, and I'll be able to be ready for it. And as a result, I will find the song far more enjoyable. I am going to go on record right now, and I'm going to say there is a really good chance that once that happens with me, once I am able to internalize this, once I'm able to groove to this, once I'm able to find where the downbeat of 1 is, I'm sure I'm going to end up loving this song. And I'll even take it a step further. There is a good chance that this song could end up becoming my new favorite song from Sleep Token. It's a very strong possibility. But as it stands right now, no, I'm not feeling it. But there's a lot of things to admire about this song, okay? There absolutely is. The ability to write a song like this takes talent. It absolutely does. And a lot of talent was showcased here. It absolutely was. Not so much from a chordal progression standpoint, purely from a counting and rhythmic standpoint. I heard some really nice runs in the drums. I heard some really nice subdivisions happening within the drumming. Now, I have no idea where we are as far as, what time signature we were in at the time. They could have been, straight eights, depending on if we're in 6/8 or if we're in 4/4, it could have been triplets. I don't know. I don't know where we were, as far as time signature goes. But I heard some really nice subdivision work. I heard some very clean playing. I heard some very interesting and creative ways of playing around with time signatures. I just don't know what time signatures they were. But I'm sure over time I will get it and I'll be able to enjoy the song even more. You can't write a song like this if you don't know what you're doing. And these guys clearly know what they're doing. Okay, they obviously do. Putting the theory aside for a second, putting the counts and the measures and the time signatures and putting all that aside for just a little bit, instrumentation-wise, I like what I heard. I liked what was being played from a melodic standpoint within the melodic lines, happening within the guitar and keyboard and synthesizers, as well as Vessel's vocals to boot. I like what was happening there. Okay, I like the tones that were being used. I like the voicings that were being used. Even the mix of the drums, I like that as well. It was kind of wet in the reverb. I think that's exactly what they were going for, to get that kind of an extra heavy reverb sound, especially when it came to doing fills. You really wanted that more than anywhere else, and they did it. They absolutely did it. No, listen, it's an impressive song. Okay, it absolutely is. When you're able to write a song that I can't just listen to it on one run through. That's an impressively written song. Again, I'm going to use the Dance of Eternity as an example. So I will absolutely give credit where credit's due. And this is why it's getting an 8.8. It is an impressively written song. It's a great tune. And like I said, in time, I am sure from a subjective standpoint of view, from my own personal feelings, I'm sure I'm going to end up loving this song, given time. And I am willing to listen to this song for a time and give it that opportunity, give it that chance. But I'm, as it stands right now, I'm not a fan. Just personally, I am not a fan of this at all, except those last 2 minutes. Now, the funny thing is, I'm sure people are wondering, well, if you think the song is that impressive, why isn't this up in the nines? Oh boy, it's those last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes were very simplistic. And unfortunately, those last 2 minutes, despite the fact that I personally loved it, is what's keeping the song from going up into the nines. But when those last 2 minutes kicked in, you felt the shock and awe value come down. It was like, and you saw it with me. I know I felt it. I hope I showed it. I don't know if I did or not. But when those last 2 minutes kicked in, I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank you. Yes. Here's a groove I can get into. Here, yes, there's the downbeat of 1. We're in 4/4 now. Now I get it. Now I feel it. Now I'm into it. Problem is, it's very simplistic. So it did bring the score down just ever so slightly, but not too much. We're literally just going from like maybe a 9.0, 9.1 down to an 8.8. When a third of a song gets, I hate to say it, but for lack of a better word, when a song gets stupefied and it comes down in impressiveness, it's going to lower the score. Then the funny thing is, like I said, I loved that part personally, but from a objective standpoint, it did bring it. but still getting an 8.8. That's not a bad score to be had by any stretch. So give it time with me. I'm sure I'll end up loving this song. And like I said, there's a chance this could end up over time becoming my new favorite song. As it stands right now, though, not a fan. But even though I'm not a fan, still getting a great score, a high great score of 8.8. That's exactly where we need to be with that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We have an 8.8, which is a great skill rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hope I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.